are debunking 5 myths about sister locks today. Okay, guys? So you want to watch, stay tuned for that.
Sensation. Something I do to you, girl. And I know, and I know, and I know. I love you. Give me the juice or the red oak.
Hey there, welcome to Phase Lock Life. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am glad you decided to click on this channel because you are about to get some good information because we are debunking 5 myths about sister locks today. Okay, guys? So you want to watch, stay tuned for that. And also, if you are one of my lock stars, welcome back, guys. I know it's been a little bit quiet on this side, but as y'all know, I always come back to the family. I always come back home. So y'all already know what it is. I love you guys and I miss you. So anyways, as in the title here or wherever it is, I am debunking 5 myths about sister locks. Okay, so we are going to be debunking all of that kind of stuff. I got my little handy dandy notes here. I got a few things written down because I do not want to miss anything. And this is for anyone who is considering getting sister locks. This can also help you with some of those questions you may have because I really ended up wanting to do this video because I had people asking me some of these questions lately, and I said, let me go ahead and do a video so I can go ahead and get this information out. So get right to it, we are going to get into myth 1. Is sister locks are not a professional hairstyle. So some people are still back in the days, I guess they haven't caught up with the laws and realized that that is not true any longer. You can wear sister locks. Sister locks are a very professional hairstyle. I've never had a problem going to work or anyone saying anything to me about my locks, and neither have I heard that of anyone else who have worn their sister locks. Back in the day, there were some laws that used to be in place about wearing locks. Generally, they were typically like if you wore traditional locks or maybe like free form locks or different things like that. Those laws were in place, although they were not right because no one should be judged based on the hair that grows out of their hair. We all know that's BS, but that used to be a law. It is no longer a law. So yes, sister locks are very professional, okay? So we are busting that myth 1. You can definitely wear your sister locks to work, okay? Myth number 2. Sister locks are permanent. I can see how some people might think that sister locks are permanent because they are so tiny and so small, but that is not true. If you wanted to reverse the sister locks, you could definitely do that. It will probably be tedious as hell to take out, and you might want to enlist one of your best friends or your boo thing or whoever you could to help you do that task because it will be a task if you decided to take them off. Take them out. Mine are very, very small locks. However, there are medium and large. And now, as we all know, sister locks have come out with sister locks XL. So those are the larger ones. It would actually be easier if you decided to take your locks out, like say between the 6 months and a year range. If you put them in and you decided you no longer wanted them, you would go ahead and use some conditioner and get your comb and get ready to put some hours in. Okay, so there you go. You can reverse them if you want. So that is a myth. Okay, myth number 3. You can wet your sister locks as often as you would like. No, unfortunately, that is not true. However, if you want to moisturize your hair and different things like that, if your locks feel kind of dry and all that type of stuff, sure, you can go ahead and spritz yours in the morning. As a matter of fact, that's what I do every morning to refresh my locks. However, if you wet them too often, you will waterlog your locks and actually get it to the point where it can cause bunching. Have you ever seen those locks that have those very thick bunchings? It swells up, and then you will find that there's like really, really big lumps or humps at the end of the lock. That happens when you are over saturating your hair with water. So that is not something that I would recommend doing, because although our hair do need that water and that moisturization, everything in moderation, because you can actually go against the process. It's too much of anything is not good. And so we need water to live, but not that much, not to the detriment of ourselves. Okay, so use it very sparingly when you are using water with your Sisterlocks. Myth 4, okay, Sisterlocks are tiny but strong. Okay, so let's talk about this. Sisterlocks are tiny but strong. Sisterlocks are durable. I'll say they are durable, but you have to be careful, because you got to think about it. You are dealing with tiny locks. These are not traditional locks. These are not like freeform, or like some locks that may be bigger than traditional. These are not those type of locks. You have to understand is you would have to have, the more hair that you have at the root of your hair, the stronger your hair. So more hair per diameter of a space on your lock is going to make your hair stronger or weaker. So you can do like light manipulation and do different things like that, but you have to be careful of over manipulating your hair and pulling your hair too tightly, or pulling on it to a way where it can actually start to thin your hair out over time, like over retightening it, all these different types of things, or it can actually literally be pulled out from your scalp. This actually happened to me one time when actually a person that was retightening my hair was going so fast and so strong and pulling it so much that when she pulled, I actually felt the yank, and boom, my whole entire lock came out literally from my scalp. So while Sisterlocks are durable, you have to understand that you are dealing with small locks, and that's just like anything. Imagine walking on a tightrope or something like that. Do you want to walk on a thin rope and put pressure on it, or do you want a thicker rope? So just be careful with your manipulation, over pulling or over styling it, over retightening it. Okay, they're durable, but they are not as strong as if you had a larger lock. Okay, so that's 4. So myth number 5, okay, do you need over 400 locks to be considered a Sisterlock girly? No, actually, that is not true. But the funny part is that at one time, I actually thought that was true, but it actually isn't. You need 250 locks. The range is between 250 to 400 locks. And you have to keep in mind the size of someone's head and the density or the size of lock that the person would want. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. If you have a larger head, and then you have a larger density of hair, then of course you will end up having more locks. And then if your head is smaller, and then your hair, if you have a thin density of hair, then you will end up with less locks. So that does not mean that you don't have Sisterlocks if you have 250 locks. Okay, so that debunks that. So you do not need the 400 to consider yourself a Sisterlock wearer. That range is between 250 and 400. So there we have it, everyone. Those are your 5 myths about Sisterlocks. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that that gave you all information. If any one of you were curious about Sisterlocks and some of those kind of things that people think about them. So I hope that cleared that up for you guys. As always, sharing is caring. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Share my channel out with everyone, and I